Hello, everybody. Welcome to Relatable Stories. I'm Angeline, your host, and today we are going to be talking about what is it about money that we link to love. And I've got my guest Tenders, founder of Tenders Art, who's going to be having conversations with me today. But for those that are joining us for the first time, Relatable Stories is just a show that uses shared stories to highlight the personal areas of development so that we can cultivate self-love and become better versions of ourselves, better, healthier versions of ourselves by finding purpose and actually living and walking in purpose. So without further ado, I'm going to bring to the studio Tendez.
Hi, how
Hi,
you
my
doing?
brother.
I'm good. How are you doing? You're right.
I am all right. How's been your day? How's Sunday?
Sunday's good. It's a blessed day, you know. We're just chilling. Nothing much, nothing fresh. We thank God we're alive.
Yeah. We thank God. I
Yeah.
hope you went to church.
Church is my body.
That's a nice answer. So, Tennis, I know you, but I would like for you to just introduce yourself to the audience, the guys who are watching from Self Love Coaching, from Kander
Okay.
Online.
Okay.
Who is Tenders? What does Tenders do? Yeah, let's get to know you.
Okay. So hi guys. My name is Tendis. I'm an artist, designer. I'm the founder of Tendis Art, which is basically a community for artistic and creative ideas, which I run. I do design clothes. I turn all my paintings into garments, as well as doing motivational speaking, as well as building my community as a symbol. I'm
That
based in
is
the UK. Yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for now.
that is amazing. That is amazing. Proudly Zimbo, hey?
Yeah, I'm very proud of my roots. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's important for my health. It's important for my soul.
It's really amazing. I'm so great. I'm so grateful and honored to have you on the show and to be able to have conversation with someone with like mind, to be able
Hmm.
to help our community to
Hmm.
become, what we think is better versions. Because if we are not having conversations about things that are pushing us backwards, then we are not pushing for
Hmm.
change. And that's why
Absolutely.
we are all here today.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, guys, you can chime in on the comment section, help us to unpack this story. This conversation is something that I felt like is very important for us to discuss because
Hmm.
we were talking. We had the divorce series, or we've got the divorce series running on Relatable Stories, and it
Hmm.
has brought to light that a lot of us young ones are getting married for the wrong reasons, are jumping into marriage for the wrong reasons, but also we don't understand what it is that we're actually looking for in relationships. And one of the biggest things that we find is uncomfortable to talk about in terms of relationships is finances. And how it's being talked about in the streets on social media is as if women are chasing paper, are not looking at love with the way that they're supposed to look at it. But I have questions around that. What is it that um, makes us link money to love? And why is it that we're calling each other god diggers? Why is it that some people will not settle for a man who cannot provide, etc.? So yeah, I am. What do you think, Tenders? What do you think money
Okay,
is got?
so money is such a beautiful thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Money brings value, money brings status, money is a vehicle that allows everybody else to function in a system that is very complex.
right.
The way I understand money is just wealth because every other decade or every other generation or century, we see relatively a lot of changes, in terms of what's valuable, like gold.
Right.
Gold could be at the highest price, sometimes could be the lowest. Homes, like houses, for me to have a mortgage, housing price could be up there or they could be at the bottom. Now, life itself um, is self-sustainable. So money has everything to do with love. Why? We
Mhm.
buy things that we love ourselves. We buy nice clothes. We do nice hair like yours. I cut my beard a certain way. It requires money,
Right.
you know? So the fact that I love myself, I need to have access to money by working so that I can afford to cut my hair, dress myself, or even do what we're doing now. This
Right.
electricity that we're using right now, you have to get paid for. But because I love my house, I love my home and what I do, yes, there is an element of us having to accept it. We have to love money. It does make us happy. There's
Right.
nobody who can tell me they're not happy without money. As a fact,
Right. Right. Right.
there's a
But money
negative.
doesn't buy everything, right?
No, I mean life itself can change tomorrow. Money could be get like right now with cryptocurrencies, which is a
Hmm.
digital form of money, which you don't see, but it's there.
Right.
So money does not buy everything, but everything depends on money. If I need to go to Zimbabwe today, I'm gonna have to buy a plane ticket. But before I even
Right.
buy that and to get a job, I need to make sure I have enough money
Mm.
to get there because I love my family, I love my country, I love my village, I miss my old school friends and all that. Do you know what I mean? So it's very important to diversify what love is and what one's got to do with love in the sense of having to have different layers to it. Because if you
Right.
just say to somebody, say, oh, 15-year-old, oh yeah, what's money got to do with love? They think, oh
Mhm.
God, I'm not in love, so I shouldn't have money. But as adults, we've seen it. We grew up with our parents. They
Right.
love money. They love it.
Mm.
Yeah. Because they can have a party at the weekend, or they can buy a nice car, or
Right.
they can take you to school. So out of
Right.
all that, of course, it does not replace what's already there. Money is a vehicle. Money is a tool.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've established money is important. Money makes the world go round. There's a
Hmm.
whole saying and a whole phrase about saying that, and we all agree we love money and we all want lots of it. But
Yeah.
when we're talking about and thinking about relationships,
Hmm.
when it comes to now, how much money do you have, Tenders? And when I want to be in a relationship with you, a romantic relationship, do I look for that, and why am I looking for that? I think that's like literally what we're trying to establish. Why is it that there's certain levels of money, and how you actually open up about it or give it to your loved ones, that's changing the dynamics of our relationships currently because of the other factors in our society, in communities where poverty is prevalent. So
Yeah.
I think, and before we get into that, I think one thing that I just wanted to ask you is we all have different relationships with money, right? Like
Hmm.
we know we all love it, but how we approach to it or how we relate to it is very different. What are
Hmm.
your thoughts around that? Why do people relate to different, and how, which unhealthy ways do we relate to money that actually affect our relationships with people?
Okay. Thank you for the question. So basically, I think that when we look at money, there are two ways of looking at it. You can look at money with a vision,
Right.
or you can look at money with provision. You know,
Mm.
when you have a vision, oh man, people keep calling me. When you have a vision, you're talking about investment.
Right.
Yeah, and when you have provision, you're looking at wealth. Okay, if you don't
Mm.
have those two, no matter how much money you can have in your bank, you're gonna waste it on buying things that don't give you any credit back. Do you know what I mean? So
Right.
in a relationship, let's say me and you were dating. If I present money to you that I don't have in the next 10 years, it's gonna finish. Okay,
Right.
I've taught you that money is all I'm gonna throw at you. You can buy all the nice things. Yeah. To be honest with
Mhm.
you, women love shopping. We know that.
Yeah. No, we do.
Women love shopping. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's consumerism.
Yeah.
But are you going to be responsible enough to say, you know what, I bought two pairs of shoes last week. I don't even need to buy these ones.
Right.
Are you going to be smart enough to say, I'm not gonna buy a new dress just because it's there? Do you need it? So in a
Right.
relationship, if you're in a relationship with somebody who's growing, you're gonna have to give them a chance. Where we come from, men are providers. Fine, men should provide all the time. Women are the
Right.
helpers. But how many times do a woman help a man to make more money than she does to spend the money? Do you understand where I'm coming from? A lot of times, women
Yeah.
help us to spend the money. That's a fact. But they never
Yeah.
want to help us to make more money. It's just expected, like, oh, he's going to make it somehow, like a tree, like every season you get mangoes. Oh, now the mangoes are not there. Oh, I don't like the mango tree. When the mangoes are there, you go and take the mango and you enjoy it, and when it's done, you don't even care. You don't even water the mango tree. You don't even, you know what I mean? So that's the problem that we're facing. Some men, they've got enough money to take care of a woman without her having to go to get a job. Some men are still in the process. So the process between meeting you as a woman, you
Right.
meeting me, you could have more money than I do.
Right.
You could be the breadwinner than than me. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm now not a man enough, because again we identify what a man is when he's got wealth. We also identify what a woman is when she's got wealth. But the most precious thing
Yeah.
between you and your partner is yourselves. As long as you can walk together like this, not one in
Hmm.
front of the other, you can see how you can save and invest, because you're spending the same 24 hours a day together in different
Hmm.
places. But you can also invest in your relationship financially. So when it
Right.
comes to like things like gold diggers, okay, go on.
Thank you. I've been trying to get to ask this question. So
Yeah.
first of all, I heard that you said that there's the relationship with money that you feel is healthy is to make sure you understand how money helps with vision and provision,
Mhm,
and you
mhm,
can't just be there without an understanding of how money works for you healthily. So that's
mhm,
just one thing that I just want to highlight and just let everybody think about and ask or probe on that.
mhm,
How is it that we're failing to make sure that money is for our vision and is for provision as well? And then we're getting into the whole women some are looking at men like mango trees where yeah, you're expected to provide and all of that, and I understand it to come from a patriarchal society, and the fact that what we are being taught right now, even if it's not to say men are the ones that are supposed to just bring all the money, we are now, woke, and
mhm,
we're trying to get women to also go to school, etc. But there is something about the way we are taught as we're growing up, men,
mhm,
that a man is supposed to be like this. And this is for me a problem where men then look at us and say, you're just looking at us like mango trees. But
mhm.
society, as we're growing up, as we're raising the girl child, we're explaining to her that a man is supposed to be just a provider. And so you don't feel like the man is loving you if he's not giving you the one thing that makes you feel secure, which is money. So I wanted to challenge you on that. Like, even if I'm buying shoes, I'm spending, I'm focusing more on the spending, but is it not translating to me feeling loved because I've been trained to understand that when a man loves you, they're going to provide for you, even if you can also get money.
That's not providing. Buying
Okay.
issues is not provision. There's no provision there. It's desire. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
you cannot tell me that I don't love you because I said no to buying your shoes. What
No.
if instead of buying your shoes, maybe I'm saving enough money to buy your car, buying your house. What happened to the investment? That's why I say to you, when there's provision, it's wealth. When there's a
Right.
vision, it's an investment. You know what I mean? So if you can say to me, "Oh, T, you don't want to buy me these shoes, so that means you don't love me." No, you are in love with the shoes. That's why I say to you, money and love, they go together. You are in
Right.
love with the shoes, and those shoes require money.
Right.
That's
So
why money has everything to do with love. Because you're in love with the shoes so badly that if I don't buy you these shoes, you're gonna cancel all the whole relationship now over a pair of shoes. I'm a man. I know I'm the head of the house now. Yeah, I'm the provider. So I'm gonna provide you a bigger house than 20 pairs of shoes. I'm gonna provide you a car so that you don't have to walk. Where's your patience? Where's your guidance? Where's your helping hand? You know what I mean?
well,
Where's your
so
helping hand?
my helping hand is definitely there, but then there's the stingy
Where?
men. Wait, there's the stingy men association where we are not yet there. Where you're like, I am going to be buying a house for you in the next few years or in the next few days or whatever you're saving up. We are still
Mhm.
just dating, and like when you're asking, maybe you're not even asking for money, but you're expecting your man to be
You
able to.
shouldn't. You shouldn't. You
Okay,
shouldn't.
let's hear why I shouldn't expect.
Right. Okay. So this is 2021, right?
Right.
2021, you asked for 50-50. Cool. You
Mhm.
got it. What do you do with your 50%? You're keeping yourself under a certain layer so that you can get away with you not being responsible for the stuff that you do without even achieving those things. Then you start saying, "Oh, men should do this." I don't think so. I
Mm,
genuinely, in my opinion, I would love to meet a woman, yeah, who can
mm.
see that I personally can do such and such and such. However, I can also um, achieve such and such if we work together. Okay, I'm not looking for somebody who can come and just take. I'm content with what I have right now. But if
Right,
I'm gonna
right.
be in a relationship with somebody else, I'm gonna have to consider my other half. But does she consider me? I don't work
Okay.
on batteries. I don't work with electricity. The same amount of money you want is the same amount I'm gonna have to make double. What if
Right.
I don't? I could work in McDonald's and flipping burgers. Are you looking for money or are you looking for love? The
I'm
one who's
looking for
looking for
love,
love.
but tell me how that looks like. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm with you there. So tell me how that looks like. Where I'm supporting you to get more money, but we're in a
Yeah.
relationship where we know that we are 50-50 in terms of feminist. But you know what? That's another thing that I wanted to just point out there. That's we are trying to get to 50-50. We are not all there, and we are if we are not all operating on the same level, it means that some of us are still like half and half. Yeah,
What?
where we are
Okay.
accepting it's 50-50, but it's not really. We still have the
Mm.
patriarchal society trying to push some agendas, different agendas.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What is patriarchal society in Shona?
Hi, boy, I don't know. Does anybody
Okay.
know, guys?
Right. Thank you. The fact that you don't even know in your own language, that means it doesn't exist. You've been taught and taken in the colonial knowledge and replacing it with who you really are. Now,
Right.
why is it that as black people we're always ignoring the fact that a lot of this English language that we speak, we don't even know half of the words what they mean. When you translate into our own language, it doesn't make sense.
No, but it should not make a sense. Changes in that, but that just hang out on the show. It should not make a sense. It should not make a
What does it
sense.
mean? What does it mean? I'm
Okay,
asking a
there's
question.
no statement. No, no. So there is no direct translation or whatever statement that describes that. But like in Shona, when I look at it, it's when I think about the patriarchal system. I'm talking about where men or murume ndiye ari ano provider for the family in terms of money. Mukadzi
Okay.
anenge ari kumba
Hmm.
anochengeta vana and all of
Hmm.
that. Baba ndo vanouya nemari handiti
Okay.
baba ndo vanouya nemari bamai distributor voona kuti zviro zvinofamba sei. It means that
Right.
the man is in charge of
Okay.
that.
Okay. So, okay, now I love what you just said. It means a man is in charge.
Right.
Do you know how many times I've had the conversation with people and what you just said there?
Mhm.
You as females, some of you will say, "Oh, I want my man to be in charge," when you don't want to be responsible. When you want to be feeling responsible, you say, "But you're a man, you should be doing this for me." You're
Okay.
picking and choosing when it suits you because the
Mhm.
other 50% you don't want to use it because you say, "Oh, his money is our money, but your money is only yours." When was the last time you bought your man car tires, new pair of shoes, a suit, take him out, buy him the best things in life? A lot of guys they tell me, T, we're tired, we're getting underwears and socks and t-shirts on birthday presents as well as Christmas. Do you know what I mean? That's
Okay.
rude. But then he's
It's
busy
not. It's
buying you.
not rude. You're the
No, it's
one who
rude.
is
No, it's rude. Let me tell you why it's rude. The
right.
same guy is working tirelessly to provide for you, yeah,
Right.
in this patriarchal society, yeah. He's buying you these Gucci's and these expensive designer clothes because you're everything for him.
Right.
He's working hard to save money to engage with you one
Mhm.
day and marry you so that you can be the mother of his kids. But that
Right.
one time he doesn't buy you those shoes you're asking for, or he doesn't love me. So you are now as good as a roulette machine where I have to put money inside you for you to function. It's like a vending machine. I have to top up money all the time so that you are happy. You love me. Now this is how I no, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
If it was about money, Michelle and Barack Obama would not have made it today. Because I don't think so. They started from high school as kids in school. and they built a relationship because they understood what's between them is priceless. Everything else is a bonus.
Hmm. You know, I think there's a lot of people who are burning to chime in. Let me just hear what everybody's saying on the comment section. We've got
Okay.
one that says, I agree with Tenders saying you work together. The thinking has to change because the narrative on relationships has changed. The
Mhm.
question is, what is the pre-agreement on what the partnership looks like before we enter a relationship so that there are
Mhm.
no unrealistic expectations and there's an agreement?
Mhm.
Um, because a lot of times from what this person is saying, a lot of times there isn't transparency in what finances should be like you mentioned as you were talking there.
Mhm.
Your money is your money, and my money is meant to provide for you. That's not my take in a relationship. For me, I've always had this thing that when you're with a partner, your money is like put in one pool. But I've
Mhm.
just heard that that's not the reality right now, as it is. Even people who are married, it's your money and my money, and then we decide what you're paying for, etc. I don't understand it. So what do you say about this statement, Tenders? I know this person is already agreeing with you about agreements before you actually enter a relationship.
Anzi, so I agree with Tender saying you work together. The thinking has to change because the narrative on relationships has changed. The question is, what is the pre-agreement on what the partnership looks like before we enter a relationship, so that there is unknown. Okay, so this is something that I will say to you. A relationship means hukama. It means you have something to relate to. Okay,
Yeah.
you have something that balances both of you, apart from
Mm.
lula lula, apart from sex, apart
Yeah.
from going out and spending money. You know, the social engineering of life right now is based on economy. You
Mm.
got fashion, you got music, you got all these things that really influence your ideal relationship, your ideal boyfriend or your ideal partner, as well as your girlfriend. So for me, I think if you really want to have a healthy relationship with anybody, you need to start with yourself. You need to understand that you are not a child.
Yeah.
2021, women can go to work, go and get a job,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Go
Yeah.
and get a job and know how to spend money paying your own bills first so you can understand how it means how difficult it is for anybody who's paying bills for somebody who's just sitting there doing nothing.
That's true.
I get it. There's guys who actually depend on women who date all these women with money and they don't
Mm-hmm.
even work, and the women end
Mm-hmm.
up having to pay for everything.
Right.
To balance that, if you really want to be in a healthy relationship with anybody, ask yourself a question. What am I in this relationship for? Why am I dating this guy? Why am I dating this woman? Who is she? If you haven't argued to a point where your relationship is shaken, you're lying to each other. I'm not saying everybody who doesn't argue doesn't mean they're not happy. Some people don't argue like that. But there's a
Okay.
breaking point of everything in life. We all break at some point. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
especially after the pandemic, people fell in love, relationships broke because of financial circumstances.
Mm.
Sometimes I'll say this. I've had some other guys saying, you know what, if you're a man, your woman should not pay a penny, should not pay bills. Men should
Yeah.
pay the bills always. Now, how many women have you had? Oh, I'd rather stay in a relationship as long as there's money. But she's getting beaten up every day.
Yeah.
I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini. I'd rather cry in a Ferrari. I'd rather cry in a Range Rover because of
Right.
the
Right.
perception. When a perception man comes in.
Okay, ndiko particularly like here Rutendo is saying love is not enough to keep a relationship, right? So
Mhm,
what does that actually mean? Because what you are saying is there is a relationship where things can be bad, right?
mhm,
Like you're saying, "Mwakutorowa pa," but because there's money, that
mhm.
relationship stays. And this is something that we're seeing a lot to these days, right? So when people are saying love is not enough to keep a relationship, what is it that they mean? What do you think? Because I feel like here
Okay.
it's implying that money has to be there in order for that relationship to be a loving relationship and to be
To,
sustained.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That your definition of love starts with how you love yourself. Okay. If you say you love yourself because you buy a new pair of shoes every other week, that means your love means shoes.
Okay.
If I love drinking, as long as I've got enough money to drink, I don't have a problem because I'm in love with my drink. Now,
Right.
if I'm in love with money, okay, if I'm in love with money, I need to have money because that's how my love life and my love language stands for. Okay, money is important. Like I said, money is not for me. Money is not the root of all evil. It's not.
No, it's not. The love of
I
it
don't.
is.
No, it's not even the love of it. Human beings are the most trouble causing being. You know, human beings. We are the root of all evil. We are. Why am I saying this? We created our own system. We've created our own money. We've created value. Yeah, we've
Mm-hmm.
done this. We did that. Okay, take £1 million or $1 million and live in a container somewhere and see what it does. Nothing.
Right.
But go and grab like chibage. Just go with a cup and pick chibage from somewhere. Throw it on the ground and see what it does. It grows. Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
grows and it multiplies. But if you leave $1 million in a container, it doesn't do any evil. It just stays there and there's nothing you can do. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So why should we then say money is the root of all evil? What I can understand from that is when people say money is the root of all evil, what they mean is kana win mari,
Mm-hmm.
you want to have more, but there's so many people who are suffering. And there's also another side where when you are suffering, kana ngombora usina mari, ukazoita mari, wakurasika. You
Yeah,
see?
I think what they're trying to say there, I'll just argue that see the love of money, where how you love money, which is for me what I was trying to
Mm,
say, Kuti, how you relate to money is where the root of the problem is. I agree with you. The first problem is the love. What is love? How do you love yourself and how do you love money? But
mhm,
when you love money in a way that is unhealthy, right?
mhm,
That you can become an evil man in that you will do whatever it takes to get it, even if it includes you killing somebody, right? So I think that is basically what that statement is alluding to, Kuti. How you love money, like what is it that how you look at money and perceive it is how is what is dangerous. If you're
mhm,
looking at money as like you're saying for provision and anyone in the relationship can bring it, then that is
mhm,
healthy and that shouldn't be something that we are scared of. We should all love money. We should all want to have that currency that gets us whatever it is that we want, right? Like you
mhm,
say, it's important. It's going to give us security. But if I'm going to go back to the system, the patriarchal system, because where
mhm,
before nyangwe tanga tingashandise currencies like pounds and US dollars and whatever, wealth
mhm,
was measured in cows. It was measured in different ways. Our system or our society was such that the male is supposed to be the one that is in charge or is running that system. That means that women are in that place where they're just waiting for that stuff to come, whether it is for you to buy luxuries or for you to provide for the family. It's still
mhm,
just sitting on the men. So
mhm,
because that has not been fully dissolved, there is still
mhm,
that mentality of "Nyango tsukushanda basa rakafana na iwe ukuthi unzi uri murume, this is what you're
mhm,
doing." Why do women expect that from muna nonzi murume? Is because there's also things about munhu kana uri mukadzi, you're expected to do this that is still being inflicted or still being talked about in our society, kuti itai, right?
mhm,
Just because you're a woman. So
mhm,
I remember having a conversation with you, Dara, about even cooking the roles of a
mhm,
woman in a household. Kuti,
mhm,
just because you are a woman in that system, unotonzi unofana unga uchibika even if usingagone kubika. Anditi. So
mhm,
same way in that system, which has not been dissolved, we want to dissolve it. There is also that notion that is passed down through different teachings and beliefs that
mhm,
muti unzi murume unofana kunge uri kuuya ne-provision ine chekuita nemari or wealth to the family, and the woman
mhm.
then spends that. I don't know
Okay,
what.
so the way I look at it is this. Again, it's 2021. I don't have
Mm,
any cows. I don't have any animals. I don't have any that type of wealth anymore. I
Right.
don't have any ivory or animal skin that I can go out there and say, oh, let's exchange this for that. The only animal skin I have is my own pairs of shoes and the ones I have to buy for my missus. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, yes, that's our tradition, that's our culture. But things have upgraded themselves. Okay, things have changed over the past few years,
Mm-hmm.
over a few decades. Again, just because you're a woman, okay, you don't necessarily have to do what has been said. I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Elizabeth, she's a woman. She was in the army. She was an
Mm-hmm.
engineer. She was doing engineering. Okay, she was a mechanic and
Hmm.
other jobs that men can do.
Yeah,
Nobody's
but it's not easy. So we agree with you. It's not easy. The system is
hold on.
not making it easy for women to do those things,
No, no,
right?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay.
listen to this. The system that you're talking about had Mbuyane Handa as one of the most successful fighters for our own freedom. So at what point are you going to tell me that it's never easy when she herself fought for your own liberation? Queen
Okay.
Zinga was there to fight the battles for every African woman. Queen
Right.
Sheba was there to fight the battles of African women. So
Mm-hmm.
at what point do you sit there and tell me it's not easy? What's easy? So you just want
Well,
hold on,
nothing is easy. So
hold on. So
okay,
you,
okay, okay,
you are
hold
telling you so you are telling me you want to be treated like a queen so that you can sit there and be picked up and be, pampered and everything, but you're just sitting there. You understand?
No,
Now,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have to understand what the problem is before we can actually just say it, this is why, this is what this is wrong. We can't, you can't act like this, because there's a bigger problem behind the scenes. So I'm all for women, love yourself and just do what you have to do. People,
mm,
some men and the system or whoever is an agent of patriarchy, will follow at some point, right? Like you said, the world is changing, and there is women that are already on that tip. But there is other women, for example, that are being labeled the gold diggers right now, and I feel like there is a bigger issue around why they act the way they're acting, because there are some families or there are some systems or communities that are still instilling some of these backward sort of beliefs that
mhm,
entitled them or made them feel entitled to a man just doing all the work. Even if they are then financially stable, they still expect it, but it's because of something that is being instilled in the system. This is what,
mhm.
so my argument is not to say women should remain there, but my argument is, what is it about our culture, our religion, our education, and all of these things that is keeping us in that state of wanting or expecting a man
Okay,
to be a man by providing money?
okay. I'll tell you how the system, what the system does. Yeah, the
Mm,
system provides a template that you personally have to find the one that resonates with you. If you're gonna go with what you've been taught in school and you think that's what the world is about, school isn't anything to do with life. School is a business. Okay.
right,
You need to invest yourself um in education outside school, outside the curriculum.
right,
Okay. The traditional knowledge that has been passed to me, I have to upgrade and update it based on the movement of the society now and evaluate what's good for now and what's good for the next generation. I'll give you an example.
right.
I bought a smartphone for one old person, yeah, for
Hmm.
an old man, yeah. Bought him one of these smartphones. Guess what? He said to me, "What's that?" I said, "It's a phone." He said, "No, it's not a phone. There's no buttons." I said, "Look,
Mm,
this is the phone. Yes, there's no buttons because there are digital buttons on the device. Switch it
right.
on." They're like, "No, I don't know how to switch it on." I said, "Well, you should because you said you know everything. Why don't you switch it on?" The frustration was that one, I said to him, Magakura Mjitiwa no Kuru, you know everything. Now, can you operate this device? You can't. Now you're frustrated because I'm challenging you, and also I'm younger than you, which
Yeah.
means you have you have allowed me to inherit life from you, but you haven't
Mhm.
changed the ways of your lifestyle back then. You have not changed the software of your mentality. You're
Yeah,
old,
yeah,
but you being old, you've I've got the privileges to take the same template and upgrade it because Mwari gave me that life through you. So let me
yeah.
operate the phone for you. So what I'm saying is, as long as you were taught that men are providers, it does not necessarily mean you can't provide for your man. Does
Mhm.
not mean that you can't be a mechanic. It does not mean that just because he's the head of a house, he's going to bully you. No. The head of
Mhm.
the house only means that respect the household because vana vako are given
Mhm.
sene murume wako. Why is that?
Mhm.
Mukadzi akaumbwa naMwari, murume
Ndizvo.
akasikwa naMwari. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Mwari created a man first for a reason beyond our own understanding. But the argument is always that why did God create a man first? Why did he not create us first? Why can't you
Yeah.
be content? Why can't you be content with being in a second position, but also being second from God? Because imunozara.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
The second position is not a problem. To be honest, I feel I can speak for myself. The second position is not a problem. Even like biblically, many being in charge just necessarily means kuti he is making sure the final decision is made because we can't have two people having
okay.
leading. That just doesn't work, right?
Okay, so if you talk about leadership, so how many of you are allowing men to be leaders?
Okay, I don't think a lot of us are. I think a lot of us just don't understand because we are fighting this. This is where the problem I actually think about that. The word submit, I think we've abused it from a biblical point of view where everybody is supposed to submit to each other. But I feel like what we have understood is women are supposed to be submitting and men are supposed to be dictating. That's how things have been working. And I feel like women now are lashing back and saying, this leadership that we were supposed to have been seeing from our men is now abused instead of them just leading. It's dictatorship. So
Okay,
that's why they're not giving the men that
I'll
platform. Yeah.
I'll let you understand something else. Thank you for even bringing this up. So, you see, the greed in our lifestyle is that the man that you want is not available yet, and you're so much rushing because society is telling you, oh, a real man is the one with money. Again, we're going back to money. What's money got to do with love? A real man is about someone who's supposed to have money. There is me and you. I love you, babes. We're doing this and that. I'm trying, but now you're not paying attention to the little things that I'm able to do for you because your mind and focus is outside the window, checking out who's got nice cars, who's got money, who's got this. Now you've sidelined me. Now I'm nothing. I become nothing because you're in competition with what's being said rather than what's
Okay.
being done. A lot of girls, you're in competition with what's being said and what you've been taught. A lot of stuff that you've been taught does not make sense.
Exactly. Okay, so holding you there, a lot of stuff that we were taught, it does not make sense, and a lot of
No.
us are needing the courage to dump that, right? But the problem is there's also a lot of eyes and a lot of people that are putting us in the cage, even our own mothers, even our own aunties, right? They
Right.
hounding you and saying, even though you know what they're saying is kind of crazy, right?
That's what I
But
told you. We
yeah,
have
but like,
we
how
have
do
a
we? Yeah.
okay, go carry on, ask a question.
So, but so the thing is now because we have to recognize that there's these things in place that are stupid that we're being told by the older generation to keep pushing. We are now coming to a point where the men is agreeing to some of these things. So say "Terra shutana, tetema ko terra shutana me wako," when it comes to things that make them feel happy. But when it comes to oh well, anafanane mari, so that they take care of you and the family and whatever, then they push back. So there's a whole system that is supporting some parts, which right now we're talking about the money, that we should all be aware of and try to help each other to get there or to make each other understand. Kuti, dude, it's on your own doing because you're taking these teachings from the
Okay,
older generation. Yeah.
so thank you for bringing this up. I want to tell you something. I might have to explain this in Shona at some point
Go
because
on, go on.
nyaya iripo ndoda so vanatete venyu zvinezvi vari kunyenga varume venyu vari kurara nevarume venyu.
Right.
You understand? Vakoma venyu mimi vari kutorera maboyfriend. vana mai venyu mimi vari kutorai my boyfriend, shamwari dzana mai venyu dziri kurara nehanzvadzi dzenyu.
Okay.
Do you understand? This is a reality that's happening right under your eyes. Yeah. Now,
Okay.
just because munhu mukuru pamakore doesn't mean they've got logic or they know. We have a generation of unfocused old people. Do you understand?
All right.
And even zvinonzi unfocused youth. Kune generation panoti unfocused youth, there's also unfocused old people or
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah.
Okay, that itself is a taboo right now. Do you
Right.
know how long it takes for a child in Zimbabwe to tell mama na daddy zamutara ndizvide? It takes 40 years at least. 40, 30, 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hauna chaunodza baba vako kuti baba zvamutaura hazviite,
Yeah.
mama
Yeah.
zvamutaura hazviite. Right now, if we look at the domestic violence and child abuse and child marriage, it's because of things like this. Kana
Right.
baba vako vachikuudza kuti iwewe teera zvitaurwa namai vako, how then can you go and tell your father, baba, I've been abused? Kana kuti iwe baba vako sexually abuse you, how then can you tell your mother? Iwe amai vako vachimboramba kuteera zvinhu zvisizvo.
Yeah.
We are having a problem in our community where ignorance plays a part. We're violating each other. We're talking about violence. We make so much noise and we talk so much nonsense. Really.
Baba Wachora Chogwadi, let me see what everyone else is saying. That we'll get back to that. There's someone who's saying problem with females now, you have nothing to bring to the table. You want a man to provide whilst you're doing nothing in return. I'll let you comment on that briefly because I know you agree, but I agree to a point, and I feel like there is a lot more from what we have just discussed now that makes
What,
us look like we don't want to work, or when we
what's,
decide we don't want to work.
I can't find a comment. I don't see the comment. What's the problem, G?
Let me put it back on the screen.
The problem with females now, you have nothing to bring to the table. You want a man to provide whilst you're doing nothing in return. Okay, this is what I was telling you earlier. Kuti, you want to be treated like queens. Didka? Kungo gara and getting pampered, everything is done for you. All you're doing is spending time on social media on the phone with your friends, talking nonsense. You're investing some of your time or most of your time in nonsense.
Okay.
If you really want to be treated like a queen, you have to act like and behave like one. Be different from the rest of your friends. Okay? If you're looking for a good man in this life, in this world, be genuine. Allow a man to grow just like you. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you don't have $200 to buy yourself those shoes that you want, why expect it from him? Who are you? You're just a girlfriend. You're not even a wife. You're not even there. So you're expecting all these things to be given to you for what? How then can you be my wife when you're not even responsible to look after yourself? What if I'm not there?
Enough said. I agree with you. Moving on. Let's read this one, Tenders. I think you might need to comment. If guys are tired, it means that a standard was not set. People are not being honest on what they can and cannot do if you don't talk and express your feelings, so that one can decide, is this relationship for me? Because it's fair. If you want someone to bring things to the table, no one wants to be drained. Suzio, I hear you, my sister. What do you think, Tenders?
Absolutely. Those are that put to talk when you're playing. Because I know what you want to hear. I'll just tell you what you want to hear and I'll leave and I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll keep telling you what you want to hear because I already started with it. If I tell you this and that, you're not really going to listen to it because you're chasing what you see on TV, what your friends are doing. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm just taking my time until I find that other person. Somebody out there is going to appreciate me the way I am, and vice versa. Somebody out there will appreciate you the way you are. You get tired yourself as women. When you get tired, it's only one day when you say enough is enough.
Okay.
Like,
Let's hear what else is you're saying. So Angeline, I hear what you're saying in terms of the gold digger mentality. Poverty is a problem because up to today, girls are being told to go look after the family, and the pressure is real. So talks like this start to help because it's a societal issue. So you are bringing change and allowing people to see themselves differently. So
100%.
yeah,
Yeah, the thing is, the girl child is always burdened by so many things. Number
right.
one, the pulling of labia and all that
Mm,
at a
mm.
very young age. You're getting sexualized at a very tender age.
Yes, yes, yes.
You're being introduced to how to being a woman when you're still a girl child, when you're still a baby.
100%, 100%, 100%.
Why? Because this is what your tetes are doing. And then half of the time when I hear you girls saying, "Oh, men are this," no, it's not us. Why don't you speak about your mom? Why don't you speak about your tete and your ambuya who are teaching you to be a woman at 10 years old? Your ambuya was teaching you to be a woman at 7 years old. So you think you will when you start behaving like a woman, your body is moving a certain way. You start to feel a certain way. You're scratching
Right.
certain places in front of men. You think they don't know. They know
Mm,
these things. You women need to start protecting yourselves. Anambuya venyu, anamai venyu, anatete venyu, nokuma venyu. They need to stop doing this. You need to work on that first before you start claiming that men are the problems. Why are we the problem when we're born out of a woman? How are we responsible? How?
okay. So I'm saying, okay, so the same way that you're also saying women can actually be woke right now and say, you know what, wisdom has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with just being knowledgeable and looking for information and to
Mhm.
liberate. So we you guys are aware of what our system is like, where girls are not even given a chance to understand men for themselves. They are told, you act this way for a man because this is what men like, this is how men are like things to be done. And men are left there to not even care. And then they just come in the equation and they expect these things that they're also being told women should do this, should do that, should be like this, right? So now for I feel for my sisters, well, there's poverty, there's the pressures and all of that. For my sisters that have taken everything to the T that they've been told, it is a lot of pressure where they're like, okay, I'm doing all of this so that I can get a man who has been described by these people that are informing me, who's just going to come here and lessen the burden. So as a woke man, where yes, of course you've got a problem, you also need to be a part of understanding that remove some of these burdens that women are being told to be that are being put on women, especially from a young age. Tell them or allow them not to feel pressured to be the cook, to be the homemaker, blah blah blah. When you know that we can share this responsibility.
It's not only about those household responsibilities. It's not. It doesn't start
Okay.
there.
All right.
It doesn't. The household responsibilities are a tradition that was introduced way before we were there. Vaskana
Okay.
and those omnetes, so because the initiation of being a man started then. The initiation of being a woman started there. When you were doing my homework, you never cried to be Baba. You never did you cry to be wanting to be a father. Why would you want to be a father? Because you've been taught to be a woman.
Right.
You have a little doll that you hold, call it Sarah or whatever. Yeah, you're
Right.
preparing yourself to be a mother. Never
Right.
did you cry to be a dog, Kumahumbe. Why would you want to be a dog? Because you're crying, you're trying to achieve that queen, that crown. You want that crown to be Duamai Vempa. You're that
Right.
queen that you're talking about. He's also training himself to be that king he wants to be. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, nobody has paid attention to how things have fallen into place in terms of diversity. All those things are still in place. They're just a template. You can shift layers. How it used to be then when we used to use kubiga the paprama stove. Now we don't
Mm.
have to do that. We are using solar panels. When
Right.
we used to have water through Mugodi, now we have boreholes.
Right.
We have tap water. There's all sorts of things that have changed. Why can't we change and move on?
Exactly.
Why can't we move on? Because I don't like the ideology of blaming one gender and not giving the other gender the responsibility for it. Some
Mm-hmm.
of the men that you're dating today have been raised by a single mother. And guess what? Because of that, this young man has seen his mother having five, six boyfriends every other day. Do you understand?
Yeah.
She has decided to have to bring all these men in the house, and he's watching.
Right. Right.
Another side is there's a young girl and there's a young boy in the house with a single mother. The young girl, she can wake up and see the mom naked and spend 3 hours in the bedroom. What are they doing? Makeup, talking as women, yeah? This
Yeah.
young man is sitting on the sofa on his own. There's no male role model in the house. He's sitting
Right.
there. Every time he
Right.
goes and knock on the door, the mom's shouting, "What you want? Sit there. What you want? Sit there." He's a child. All he's saying is, "How come you can spend more time with my sister?" He doesn't know the difference between being a girl child and being a male child.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
you're already training your son to be a coward to some other women because you're being a coward
To him.
to him. So
Yeah.
what type of men do you think are going
It's
to?
gonna be.
No, he's not going to
Yeah.
be anything more than what you've already given him. And this is to do with the women having to take care of a male child on their own, but bringing other different type of guys in the house, or even having one guy who doesn't care about him.
Right.
Most step parents, they don't care. To be honest with you, okay.
Right.
Most step parents don't care about anyone's child. I tell you
Yeah.
why. Reason being, you introduce that man, you introduce that woman. If I introduced a stepmother to my kid, she can only treat my child the way she see me treating them. If you
Right.
bring a stepfather in the house, he's only going to treat your kids the way you treat them. Because
Right.
vakazi munoti mukasana arume, yeah, my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend aindikova, yeah, boyfriend aindida. So mupesesa anenge agara manje wakati, oh, okay. Saurundudza iwewe kuti mupesesa anga asina basa newewe. Okubvunza kuti why aikurova? Hey,
Right.
aindrova, ainenyima mari, hey, chichi. But you're forgetting one thing. This same God that you're telling these things, he's going to see unhu hwako. He's going to see your behavior in that house. Then he will say,
Yeah.
oh, ndosaka wairohwa. Oh, ndosaka wainyimwa mari. Okay, now you make sense. Why would he care about you? He wouldn't.
Yeah.
So when you go out there meeting all these different types of guys, stop complaining about the guy who left you. Ask yourself, what did you do wrong so badly that he left you? What did you do so right that he left you for? If he left you for something so good, clap hands for yourself. Give it to the guy who's there. Stop running around telling every other guy, Tinder's Asibo. Tinder's Asibo. Even doing it man. Now you're the angel. Wow.
Okay, so Dennis, you brought two points to light that I really like here. We need really to change the way that we raise guys as well. It's not a one gender issue here. Where
No.
but remember they were raised by women. So if we're allowing men to be cowards or teaching them to be cowards and not to actually change or be a part of change of a tradition that is now backdated, we are just going to be suffering the same consequences, right? And then secondly, in terms of um us women, what we are telling the guys that we're dating or the guys that we're chasing is really what sometimes is killing us. But at the same time, it's not taking responsibility. We are not. I think we've been talking about it. Kuti, even in a divorce situation, even if it's a boyfriend girlfriend, you have your part to play in any breakup that's going to happen. So if as long as you're not going to take a responsibility, you're going to go into the next relationship with the same issues, and likely the same patterns are going to be to continue. And I mean, we're hearing you, Tendes. Thank you very much for letting us know that the guy is just going to be like, "Ha, those are Wairo." But then, why can't we just
You're
communicate? Why can't
stubborn.
we just
You're
communicate?
stubborn. You're very stubborn. Very stubborn. Very rude. Very disrespectful. Okay?
Not of us.
Absolutely. But I'm not saying Guru Waku right. Mwana
Okay.
wako let me give you an example. Mwana wako, if your child misbehave in the house, you no grow over you. You no grow over you. You see, we grew up on that again psychologically. We're tapped. Do you understand? We grew up on do grow over
Right.
now you're being rude, you're being disrespectful. What did I say? You don't remember at the same time. There's so many guys out there who are being domestically abused, that physically being beaten up by women,
Yeah.
and they suffer in silence. I speak to men. I also speak to women. The reason being, nobody's taking time out to really focus on What do we have without all these things? Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hapana munhu anobvunzwa kurova mumwe munhu, whether uri murume kana uri mukadzi.
Yeah.
But you are so bad. Some of you are so bad. You provoke somebody. Kutomupusha, kutomurova kuti ndirove, dakona nondirovere. It's like, how can you go? It's like trying to. It's like you get toothpaste and put on a toothbrush and go to a lion and say, "Open your mouth, let me wash your teeth." This is what you guys doing.
Yeah.
You don't do
Well,
that. You don't do that. It's so dangerous because you know why? You don't know what this guy has gone through. Some of these guys have been abused by their own mothers, their own aunties, their own
yeah.
sisters, their own grandparents, like grandmothers. So behave yourself and understand with you. Just because he's a man does not necessarily mean he doesn't go through a lot. Depression in black men is big. Mental health in black men is big. The pressure on us is too high because kana sina mari kana urora kwacha ndinourora why?
Wagona wataura nyaya iyoyo vulnerability. Suzo, help me to remember this. I just want to go through the comment section and then we talk about men and vulnerability because I think it's one of the root causes of some of these issues that we have here. Suzo saying that my bestie married for 19 years. It's says it well, we are in partnership that is underpinned with mutual respect, love, honesty, communication, vulnerability seems to be working. Okay, so Suze, what she's saying actually ties in with vulnerability that I wanted to just tap into right now. You were saying you don't know what this guy's gone through. But why is it that with men we never know these things so that we can understand who you are? Like, how come you don't become vulnerable to your partners? Isn't vulnerability the pillar of actually building a relationship?
Well, the thing is, where we come from, my dear, the most difficult thing is when you, as a man, show your vulnerability is used against you. Okay, simple as that. I've seen it and I've experienced it. You know, you're there, you're doing everything that you think is right, but when I don't say God, how you want to balance? I don't do a balance. You know what I mean? But
But
later on
isn't
in
that
life,
vulnerability what we need to help you? So, for example, if you become vulnerable
no,
to me,
no.
and wait. So, you've asked me a question before, like, what is it that I'm doing to help my man get to a point where he actually makes more money, etc. Right? I get to understand. I feel like I will be in a better position to understand and push and be there for my man, and by understanding his vision and where he's coming from in life, what his limitations, his weaknesses are. So if you're
Okay,
not going to be vulnerable with me, aren't you in my way in terms of helping you being an
okay,
actual helper?
okay. So when you're dealing with someone who's vulnerable, first thing you need to understand is do your part.
Okay.
Psychologically listen to them, prepare yourself for the worst, give them a hug, compliment them, show them that they're worthy. Stop asking questions. They're not your kids. Okay?
Okay.
You're better off treating that guy or that woman like a baby. When the baby's crying, you give them milk, they're still crying. You change the nappy, they're still crying. You pick them up, they're still crying. You put them down, they're still crying. Until they get used to your spirit. Your
Okay.
energy is everything. Stop using what a man tells you against him. Stop using this black man as wallet. Stop abusing this man financially. Just because the guy gives you money does not mean he's stable.
Okay.
Okay. Stability mentally to function as a human being has nothing to do with financial circumstances.
But what I'm hearing is like there's a lot more to do of a woman to do than what a man is supposed to be doing, because we
Absolutely.
are. So why is it that way? Because in a
Okay.
relationship, it's everybody has to come with something that they're doing to build. Because I also have my own pressures, so
Okay.
it becomes weird to for us that we're being asked to act some a certain way to become the marriage material, and then we're then being asked by the men who are saying whatever you're being told is crap, act this way
Okay.
because this is
So,
what we want. What are the men doing?
okay, let me tell you something. Whoever told you how you're supposed to be as a marriage material type person, yeah, is not the one who's going to marry you. They're
Right.
only telling you based on their own personal experiences.
Exactly.
Your tete will tell you why. Only because she's talking about Bamkuru Wago. You don't sleep with your Bamkuru.
Mm-hmm.
She's telling you based on her personal relationship.
Right.
The day you sleep with your boyfriend, your partner, is the day you know the kind of man he is and what his needs are. You're going to condition him with your love. He's going to condition you with his love, and you're going to have a relationship with a language that nobody else understands. Problem yatinoita wakunonoza shamwa dza murume wangu anogona basa, murume wangu akazodai, murume wangu akazodai, murume wangu akazodai. Ava munhu vari kuudza haasitomboziwana half of what you're telling them. They feel
Yeah.
jealous. Then your
Yeah.
friends start going to provoke your man, dressing my miniskirts and doing all sorts of things. Pamoja na kunyepa, hey, murume wangu anga kundinyenga. But iwe waunonyenga shamwari yangu indava. Apa shamwari yako ndoda sei ikukunyepera. Wakuita
Right.
problem pamavo. Because iwe muchitaurisa. Stop telling people about your business, okay? Your relationship is for yourself. Ziva zvekutaura.
Okay.
You don't have too much to do more than men. We have both equal opportunities. Why? Varume, we don't quickly tell you our problems. Because if I do that, it's a sign of weakness. That's what we've been taught. And one.
But we have to change that.
Yes, we have to change that. Now, the way we can only change that, stop thinking a man with money is the only man available. Kuna vamwe vanhu vane mari zvokuti mari dzavo, you don't even know where it comes from. Unongozangospenda. Vamwe vane
Right.
mhondi. Some people have killed people to make that money. Some
Yeah.
people have sold certain things to make that money. But yours was you don't care
Yeah.
about that. It's the
Yeah.
same thing back home where parents are putting pressure on new girls. Hands chingita muri hey vana achagona kudai hey zvakazo. Black tax.
Right.
Vamwe vari kunorarwa navo kunze uko. Votoita shift yekuti vanorara navamwe varume to make £2,000 a week. So that she can
Right.
send so that she'll be able to send £2,000 a month kuba.
Right. Right.
The pressure that you guys have is too much. But the pressure that you have is based on the fact that nobody's going, enough is enough. This is not working. So the love of, so you see,
Yeah.
the system is so clever. The black tax is so clever.
Yeah.
But ndo vaimbodanzi ndo vanhu vakuru vaikunyima mari yeice cream iwe uchikura iwe but vaona wakabata doro masikati acho. Saka mari yeice cream ndo mari yedoro renyu. Imi mukusamanwa doro dzanopa mari yeice cream.
Yeah.
Now they're asking you for thousands of pounds to send home. Ambuya amedza demo, cancelled operation, shira isina rimwe bapiro. You know?
I'm laughing, but it's so real. It's so real. It's so real, and it's the root. It is part of our problems, really. Like and that invulnerability on the male side. You still didn't answer my question. What males are actually what their role is in all of this? Having to understand that women are coming from this place. How can can we help each other get to a place where we are not looking at relationships as a place to chase paper, but as a place to partner and to build towards something better together? How can we work together? We understand what women have to do, what men have to do.
Okay, let's say okay, don't know younger baby. Just go man. But I'm not happy. I've got a problem. She won't even see me next day. She won't even see me next week. She won't even want to see me. Even if I come and tell you problems right now, not as much sure because kumba kwenye une problem mdaro wako, une problem nanzazi yako, une problem ex-boyfriend yako. You're escaping all that by meeting a new man. And you're trying to escape all that by meeting somebody. But that's your that's your own personal stuff. You know that not gonna say ne mono. Unzo through to ngoja biro handbag yo. Koma na to maita mpave to iruwa utora bag ra over akupa. The next day una lottery. But it's up to you now to consider. So a lot of people say, well, okay, fine. As long as I've got my bag. They never think, okay, let me be thankful for this guy for what they've done.
Right.
You never know that person, you build a relationship and you get somewhere. It happens. Too much TV. mukuona TV too much. Mukuona Romeo and Juliet mavona ndizvo. Vakazoramba nono.
They died for love.
And vakazoramba na. Zvakazoramba kushanda.
Havana kufa here vanhu vavereka hangu Romeo and Juliet. They died in love, my friend. Mira timbonzwa zvikutorwa panapa. Hanzi. Agreed, tenders. Women must start protecting women. The garbage that girls get taught is shocking. At years ago, at a bridal party, the bride was told by a mother in the room, "Men will beat you, but that's how men are. Just be strong." Rubbish standard set. I said my bit and checked out. Okay, so Suzio, we know you. Our sister here, Suzio, is 100% authentic. She will tell it like it is. But this is real in our society where the standards that are being set for these women are very stupid, right? And unnecessary. And what are our men doing to make sure they also act understanding? Because I feel like girls are being pulled in two directions where, yes, of course, some of us can then just go with the flow and not use our own brains and all of that, and that's what you call ignorance, standards. But at the same time, when you guys meet us, you understanding where we are, isn't there something that you can also do or change that help us to have a conversation that helps us to go forward, as opposed to bashing us and calling us gold diggers and looking at us as sideways for doing only what is sort of necessarily left for us to do?
Okay. Upenyu, life itself, is a gift. It comes like this.
Yeah.
This hand here is 100%. Okay, this is my right hand, but it looks like it's a left hand. This is 100% right hand, and that's a 100% left hand. Now, you are 100% a woman. I'm 100% a man. Let's stop this ideology of 50-50. Okay, half. Half of what? Where's the other half?
Partnership.
No, come 100% as yourself. So we have 200%. Okay.
Okay.
If you come as 100% you, I'll come as 100% me. Why? That way, what we do is you don't put 50% effort, because already you're reserving the other 50. No, I'm in a relationship with this guy. I'm doing 50%. So I can't go 50%. Make that sadza good. Yeah, make that life good. Yeah? There's no point for you to dress up 100% when we go to a function somewhere for everybody to see you, and you dress up 50% because you're with your man at home. Sometimes get up and dress up without going anywhere.
Right.
Let him question you, where you going? Nowhere. Set up a table, get a glass of wine, get dinner. No worries. Sometimes a man will get up and say, look, I'm dressed up. I'm going to cook for you. Cook. Put your clothes over there. Have a weekend. Watch a movie. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Spending a lot of money in an expensive restaurant is not a sign of love. It's pleasure. It's desire. Yeah? Love can be so beautiful. Mumbema uskomne kendo jemjem. And the rural go to
yeah.
You can spend $10 or $20 and have a beautiful picnic somewhere. You can have a beautiful lunch. You can have, at home. But if you can afford it, if you can make it, if you've got money like that, go places, go and see the whole world. The whole world is there.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. I love it, but there's still one question that you're trying to not answer. Suzio says, vulnerability gets weaponized on both sides, unfortunately, and it leaves deep scars when that's abused. Men are not stones as well. They have feelings. Everyone needs to choose wisely. Work on self, please. Unfortunately, it's not popular, but it needs to be done. Okay, so I think Susan is just agreeing with you in terms of the vulnerability, why some men have stopped being vulnerable and all of that. But I'm still back at, we understand why you have stopped being vulnerable, because sometimes women then weaponize your vulnerability. But also women's vulnerability has been abused all these years, and no one really stops being vulnerable because it is necessary for relationships. So my last question, the one that I'm saying that you still keep not answering me, is what is it that men are supposed to be doing to come with, okay, maybe the 100% as well? Because how I feel as a woman, or as I see my fellow sisters, is we are feeling judged for things that have been set up for us, like from a system that has been setting us out to fail. Um, and we feel like our men are not helping us there. I understand what we some of the things that we then end up doing that are wrong. Like for example, we then are not even paying attention to our men. We are not being, catering to them really, just because it doesn't have to. It doesn't have necessarily have to be about money. It can just be like showing them that you're there, right? But what are the men doing? What are the men doing?
Okay, so what we are doing, okay, what we do as men.
Mm,
If you come to me running, oh, 10 days, I'm broke, I've got a problem at home. I want you, can you please help me? Can you pay my bills? I'll do it. Yeah. I'm a guy. It's expected. But the guy who doesn't do it for you, you think men are rubbish because he didn't do it for you.
right.
You see now? You've got two different types of men. Oh, T, I need some money. I need £2,000. Oh, things are not really well. Yes, of course. Because I'm supposed to provide. But before I do that, if I ask you questions about it, when you start
Mm-hmm.
mumbling, I can tell she's lying. Because some of you are good liars. Like you're so good at lying. So vulnerability sometimes isn't always going to work for you. Stop being vulnerable based on a system that does not work for both sides. So Amaga did this quite mean. It's not us who taught you that.
Okay.
Go and challenge them and say, look, what you taught us was beautiful for you. Now this is what we have learned. This is how it's because varume vamazwana vasiyana varume nyudara. Why? Because varume vamakunyengana nawo imimi. Ndo vanavo vakomana vakarera vakaudzwa futi the other side. So
I
both of us were taught to be like this instead of this. Even more this
yeah,
squat is this squat is. Now put the two together. It's like water and oil. It doesn't mix. And what am I?
okay.
Do you
When
see
you
where I'm
put it
coming
that way,
from? Our parents, our mothers would teach us, mwanangu, usamborora mkazi akadai so. Usambodane musikana akadai so. But zvatiri kuona zvacho ndozvakainditsarore, but ndozviripo. Imimo zvamakanzi, handwana.
hands in those really- okay, so how do you react to the attendance? Okay, I like that you brought that up. You murikuona zvamakaudza kuti musarore zviripo, though, but those murikuda also. How then do you make sure that works? How are you
Okay,
making sure that works? Because we feel like we are then having to suffer because you guys are being told are looking at us and thinking "Dasha dagara mbinzwa," and your family, you're allowing your family to continue to
okay,
treat us that way.
okay. So let me tell you something. The Bible speaks of respecting your parents.
Mhm.
Okay, it does not speak of parents having to bully kids. It says remekedzai vabereki kuti mazuva enyu awande panyika asi vabereki musakanganisire vana.
Yeah, it does
Do
say that.
you understand how jealous some of the parents are now, especially these days? Kuti mwana anodriva mota yakanaka kupfuura baba. Sonzi ndipi kune mota iyoyo audrive mota yakanaka kudai so. I've worked for myself for my money to buy this
Yeah,
car. It's not my fault that you were brought up in a certain system that didn't justify your abilities.
yeah,
Kukukumbiro zvakanaka, kukurespectawo inini kuti ndakukwanisa kuzvimiririrawo semunhu wemurume kana kuti wakukwanisa kuzvimirira semunhu wemukadzi. Our parents are so toxic and disrespectful. They feel very entitled. Kune imwe entitlement yavainayo ka yokuti unonyatsoshamisa kuti no. This is not how it's supposed to be.
right, right.
Do you
So
understand?
there's a whole lot of us taking control of our lives at this point, and
Absolutely.
basically respectfully telling our parents truth in love, where we get to choose our own partners, and in that way, if you choose your own partner, you are able to actually select even the person that they would actually say is not right for you, right?
It's happened. It has happened so many times. Zhinji vanhu vachizoti iwe ukarora mukadzi uyu you're not my son. You're not my daughter anymore.
Yeah.
So, because of our tradition and our culture, which is complex, okay, kuti
Mm.
vanhu kune zvinoitwa zvamusingazivi mwanasikana.
Okay.
That's on a deeper level. That's for another day.
Day.
But there's so
Okay.
many things I can express and explain to you. So I'm say, and I'm not going to do now.
Okay.
I'll give you one good example.
Mm.
Vasikana vakawanda pavari vamwe vakatosarudzwa kunzi iwewe uri mukadzi wasekuru nenge vakafa kudhara.
Right.
Murume chaiye chaiye waunoti murume wako unogona kurota uchirara nemurume kuhope. Unogona kurota waroorwa murume akauya agare, murume akauya agare. Inini ndogona ndakatopfekedzwawo mukadzi, but vakadzi vakauya vagare vanenge vachikuva vachienda. Marriage chaiye chaiye haiite, inoramba. So there's so many elements of our culture systemically put in place. Kuti no matter what you try and do, hazvibude hazvishande.
Okay.
Understand? Inini I prefer zvangu kutaura neshona pazvinhu zvakadai so because ndokwatinobva and tikurasa shona nekuda chirungu. Yet we cry about colonization. Now we are colonizing ourselves. Diversity is a beautiful thing, but do not forget the war that our parents had to fight back in the days to be where we are.
I like that. And Tenders, I think we obviously will come back and talk about this on a deeper level because also there's an issue of self-love. And also kufarira kwaunobva ukanzwisisa zvaunobva zvinonetsa futi also to marry zvimwe zvamuri zvatiri kudzidza from different cultures because diversity yacho is not like we're learning from just one culture. It's like a lot of cultures all in one box. But at the end of the day, these breaks in the communication and identity ndozviri kukanganisa vanhu kuti vazive what love really is. From what I see, because we come back to what you said in the beginning. The basis of this problem is hatisi kuziva kuti love yacho chii, because where love is concerned, I feel personally money can come, but if there's real love or true love is enough. That's what I think. But a lot of people have been telling me love is not enough. There has to be money, and that mentality is causing people to go into love looking for the money first because they are expecting it from somebody else instead of looking inside and saying, I can create the money. All I need is a partner who is able to help me create, to make this money provide for my family, and we have a vision to grow as a couple. So, like in on my side, I think there's a lot to do with that identity. But I'm just going to ask you in closing to just give us your take and your last words, maybe not your take, the last words on this topic to just help the girl and the guy in a relationship where money is becoming an issue because one is just reaching and the other doesn't understand why.
Go and make a lot of money and go and enjoy the world. Stop feeling vulnerable just because of what you've been taught. Go and take risks. Go and love yourself until you stand in love. Don't fall in love. Usawire murudo. Ukawira mugomba ka. Nona toza kubuda bosi norumwa nenyoka. Stand in love. Mira murudo. Fano mira murudo kuti kana akuuya anokwana urimo kudhara.
Okay.
Nekuti anogona kuuya asina rudo wotomudzidzisawo iwewe. Unonzwa?
Yeah.
Iwewe semunhu mukadzi wakafanana neruva. Tikasadiridza ruva tikasamuvhasika unooma. Ndosaka muti mukamuka ukaiswa mabori unofara, wauzoti wakanaka unofara. Isusu tongomuka nendebvu dzedu takutorova pasi takutoenda. Nobody questions it. But you need at least an hour or so. But what I'm saying is just remember that you are everything and you are enough. You need to learn to let go of the past lessons and teachings asingabatsiri kuti upenyu hwako hugare zvakanaka. I think on that, tsvagai Mwari vachiri kuwanika, namatai, pray for these things.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
when you talk about praying for money, enda kubasa wangu. Money does not come from God, but blessings come from God. Have a plan. If you've got ideas, I'm here. Look for me. Bonzai Angel, Anokudzai Kundwana. I'm an artist, I'm a designer, motivational speaker, hence why I'm here. So there's so many ideas I also have and I want to implement in our community so that we can grow. To do with mental health, even drugs, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. You know, I've got connections, different people that we can work together with so that we can develop somehow a good identity. But now what is love? What is money? Money is beautiful. But naturally, your life is more beautiful with everything that you have. Be content. Don't copy your friends. Stop following my trends. But sometimes when God places your blessing, when you go see people, follow your purpose and your destiny for the greatness. Thank you.
Thank you, Tenders. I'm not going to add anything. Enough said. Thank you so much for being here. We are definitely going to have you back to talk about identity, to talk about growing and all of that. But everybody, you've all heard it. We have to have self-love. We have to love love. We have to love life, and we have to chase deeper. Let's get those blessings from God. Let's pray for it. Let's work hard, and let's continue to change our narrative and change the world and make it what we want to see every day through conversations. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.